Thank you, Ernest, for our opening speech to our, what we used to call Career Day, and now in line with the new logo and new brand, we've changed the name to the Career Paths of a Governance Professional. Now, let's get started. The Hong Kong Chartered Governance Institute, HKCGI, proudly unveiled in January 2022 its new brand identity, which include its new logo and revamped website. The Institute's new brand aims to reflect our unique position and critical role as highly qualified experts in corporate governance in Hong Kong and the mainland of China. And as the China division, the overall, we call ourselves the China division, Hong Kong and mainland China included, we're the China division of CGI, the Chartered Governance Institute, which is a global international organization, which has got 9 divisions, and China division is one of 9 divisions.
Wow.
The new logo emphasizes the Institute's status as the Governance Institute, and also embraces our history. The orange A of Chartered in the governance, Chartered Governance Hong Kong design is reminiscent of a compass and its north-pointing needle. This represents the Institute's core mission to help members do the right thing for a better purpose under the increasingly complex governance landscape, leading to a better future. The Institute's modernized website features an interface that is both visually attractive and user-friendly, with practical content and new built-ins developed specifically for the convenience of our members and students. Interested parties may also retrieve helpful information on the various routes to membership more easily on our new website. So this is the timeline which illustrates the Institute's milestone developments. So beginning from the Institute's name change in July 2021, then the introduction of our members' new post-nominals, and finally the launch of our new brand, new logo, and new website in January this year. So it's relatively new, we're only in March, so we've only launched less than three months ago. The new tagline represents the Institute's core mission. We believe that better governance leads to better organizations, and better organizations create a better world. So over the past 2 decades, the number of listed companies has grown significantly in Hong Kong and the mainland. So I used to be at the Hong Kong Stock Exchange. I think right now the number of listed companies on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange is over 2,500. Last time I looked, it could be more now. So in parallel, the business environment has become more complex, with listed companies expected to navigate geopolitical tensions, climate-related changes, rising inequalities, cybersecurity risks, technological disruptions, challenging stakeholder demands, and an increasingly onerous regulatory environment. In Hong Kong, the new requirements in Hong Kong's Corporate Governance Code calls for the boards to align company culture with the company's purpose, value, and its strategy. So this is one of the new requirements introduced by the Hong Kong Stock Exchange. So these are the brand pillars, which tell you more about what we do at the Institute. So I'll leave you to read that in your own time. So we believe, recognized thought leaders in our field. One of the Institute's core missions is to educate and advocate for the highest standards in governance, and to cultivate and train the next generation of governance professionals. This has led to the launch in 2019 of the due qualification of Chartered Secretary and Chartered Governance Professional, and the launch in 2020 of an updated qualifying program, which is called the Chartered Governance Qualifying Program, CGQP. So why do you think, where do we stand and what is our status? So the listing rules and the corporate governance code have both made it clear that company secretaries are key governance advisors to company boards. And this is talking about listed companies boards, but of course, it also applies to private companies. And the company secretaries and governance professionals are responsible for updating the board on the latest laws, regulations, and compliance relevant to the company. And there are a number of recognitions other than the listing rules and the Hong Kong Stock Exchange's CG code. So under the company's ordinance, a member of the institute is recognized as a professional company secretary practicing in Hong Kong, who is qualified to certify translation of documents under the company's ordinance section 4.3e, and a member of the institute can certify true copies of documents under section 775. And as I said, the members of the institute are recognized by the Hong Kong Stock Exchange as an acceptable qualification for discharging the functions of company secretary in listed companies. So, I was at the Stock Exchange, Main Board Rule 3.28 basically says, if you are a company secretary, if you want to be a company secretary of a listed company, you must either be a lawyer, accountant, or a member of HKCGI. So we have the same status, qualification status, when it comes to becoming a company secretary of a listed company. And the next one is HKMA and SFC. Members are recognized by HKMA, the Hong Kong Monetary Authority, and the SFC, that's the Securities and Futures Commission, as appropriate persons to certify verification of identification documents under the guidelines on anti-money laundering and counter-financing of terrorism. And for the Bar Association, so normally if you go to the bar, the barristers, for legal advice or instruct them to do anything, that's normally through intermediary of solicitors. You might know this, but the members of the institute are able to access the bar directly, i.e. go to the bar and instruct them without having to instruct a solicitor first. Official Receiver's Office, members of the institute are qualified to be appointed as provisional trustees under section 12 of the bankruptcy ordinance. Official receivers also regards members as qualified professionals to be appointed as provisional liquidators under section 194 of the company's winding up and miscellaneous provisions ordinance. So the next slide. So what are the career opportunities and prospects? One of our goals as an institute is to cultivate the next generation of governance professionals. In this regard, it is important to showcase the career opportunities that are available to our students. Experienced governance professionals make excellent candidates for board postings, to be board members, to be directors, that is. There is also a broad spectrum of roles within governance professionals to choose from, including, but not limited to, of course, the company secretary, governance advisors. Company secretaries already are governance advisors, senior management in risk and compliance, executive and non-executive directors, chief executive, board chairman, just to name a few. Of course, there are many of our members who are, undertaking roles in compliance and all sorts of roles, but one thing in common there is they are familiar with the governance aspect of compliance and how companies work. The Institute organizes a lot of activities to help prepare students to become diligent governance professionals. So here are some pictures from our Institute's paper competition from last year. So there has been a huge change, I would say a paradigm shift of the perceptions about what governance professionals bring to their organizations. No longer company secretaries were regarded as purely administrative. The role of company secretaries and governance professionals today have become a lot more complex. And that is partly thanks to the global pursuit of good governance, with a greater focus now on environmental, social, and governance, ESG standards and practices. Moreover, as new technologies increasingly enable the administrative side of the role to be automated, the strategic side of the role has grown in importance, which you will hear more about later today. So governance professionals now contribute much more to the board's decision-making process, advising not only on internal controls and regulatory compliance frameworks, but on diverse issues, including managing climate risk, setting ESG targets, and adapting to the ever-changing expectations of the organization's key stakeholders. The many different facets of our role, whether ensuring regulatory compliance, including risk management or advising the board on developments in governance matters, are now quite rightly seen as different aspects of achieving excellence in governance. So that's all I'm going to say today, and I hope you will enjoy the many great sessions we've arranged for you today, and I'll come back to see you at the end of the program. Thank you very much.